I'm a dog.
I'm a dog.
I'm a dog. But the last part I want to talk about is how the Rocks pirates ultimately dissolve. I have no idea how Roger's gonna react when he finds out Gloriosa's on his ship.
He's like, bruh!
Why is she here? Who invited her? Honestly, I should have guessed the moment that Shaki was saved by Rayleigh that she'd end up leaving with Shaki. Like, especially since the end of the Rocks pirates. We all knew that too. So the Kaido and Big Mom interaction was so forced. Oh my god. Easily the weakest part of the chapter. I don't care what nobody says. It feels like their whole sibling rivalry was kind of like shoved down our throats. Especially since it didn't really pay off in Wano. It actually makes that arc feel a bit weaker. We had this lifelong grudge and all these threats towards each other, only for them to team up and get defeated by different people outside of them. Big Mom never came to collect, and Kaido never got the chance to crush her spirit. Maybe I'm the one in the few in the community who feels a little let down by how this turned out for them, but it's fine because I still love both of their characters. Oda has shown time and again how characters' fates can go right or wrong. Either they age gracefully or end up ruined. I think Kaido, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Gloriosa, Stussy, and Shiki all take the wrong path. Kaido becomes a warlord tyrant who eventually loses to Luffy. Big Mom turned into an obsessive, self-destructive monster. Whitebeard suffers betrayal from Blackbeard and loses Ace to the world government. Stussy becomes an old hag consumed by greed and never ends up with Whitebeard. Gloriosa never gets with Roger and is shunned from Amazon Lily. Shiki is defeated by Garp and imprisoned and impelled down and loses both of his legs. Other pirates like Gansui, Balstar, and Captain John pass away and are later turned into zombie generals by Gecko Moria. And the worst part, Big Mom, Kaido, and Whitebeard leave Rocks. This is the last memory that they have of him. It's heartbreaking because I really wanted them to know the truth, and they will never know the truth, ever. This explains why each of them admired Roger for the One Piece, but never truly admired Rocks. They believed that because their own crews were built for themselves, Rocks, when he needed them most, acted on his own best interest, leaving them feeling irrelevant at the very end. So the big question now is, once Roger survives the incident, during his final meeting with Whitebeard, does he not only reveal the location of the One Piece and who he's waiting for, but also tell Whitebeard that Rocks was under a curse, wanting to be defeated because he was being controlled by the black monster they all attacked on God Valley? Do you think Whitebeard learned the truth?
I would love to say he did, because Roger saw Whitebeard fighting there with Rocks. Like, he saw him go back. He knows that he was a Rocks pirate. And even when he originally jumped into Shaki's bar, his first thought process after he wasn't able to get with Shaki was, I want to drink with Whitebeard. So at the minimum, like, Whitebeard was synonymous with Rocks for a time. Once you know everything, which Roger knew, like, he knew everything, and you're telling Whitebeard everything, even if he didn't specifically highlight that Rocks was Domi Reversi, I'd like to believe that Whitebeard put two and two together himself to be like, oh, so that's what happened to the captain. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, it was 40 years ago, whatever. Like, a lot of stuff has happened since then, but he's probably always wondered about that. Like, he never sees him again. You know what I mean? Like, this is the last time I'm ever going to see Rocks, and this is my lasting impression of him. And now Roger tells me, nah, it wasn't like that. Yeah. It was something else. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, he'll probably feel better about it. And then in the back of his mind, again, in the more recent times, it's like, I don't know if he ever knew that Blackbeard was Rocks' son. If he did, it's like, he said what he said about, you're not the man Roger's waiting for. If he had that correlation, then he probably would have been like, you're not the one Rocks waiting for either. Just to throw that in Blackbeard's face. So maybe not, but I do like to believe that he did on some level. And maybe he just doesn't know that Blackbeard is Rocks' kid. I don't think it ever mattered to him. I love that the negative futures. I know we went over that last week, but I think that's such a perfect encapsulation of what happened to a lot of them. Because like you said, in the negative futures that we see that Oda draws, like, a lot of them are shorter, uglier, fatter, just downtrodden, ruined by the negativity of what's happened in their life. And if Rocks would have survived and they could have stayed together as a crew, granted, some of them I don't think ever would have been long-term Rocks pirates. Like, Shiki clearly was too ambitious for that. Kaido was very impressionable and seemed to have real, genuine, like, I want to be a part of this or something. Big Mom, it's hard for me to gauge with her because she's called Rocks a numbskull and she's always been seemingly willing to backstab people, but that's her after this has happened. She was happy that Rocks is having a kid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, on some level, there was a camaraderie there, and they felt a way about being attacked by him. I will say, they were pretty quick to be like, all right, we out.
I just wish we get a little bit more of a scope on that conversation because they've experienced Emu. Roger says, yo, I found the One Piece. You don't have to go there. But like, this is technically what happened and this is how it relates to the monster. And then Joy Boy in that setting goes, yo, somebody got taken over by Emu. And then Whitebeard brings out and goes, is that what happened to Rocks, Roger, when you stayed behind? And Roger goes, yeah. And then Whitebeard ends up like taking a drink. He puts his head down and he lets out a tear. He's like, yo, for 40 years, I believe that this man who I truly started to love ended up being a solid dude till the end, and he didn't want to destroy the crew. Like, he wanted to hold it together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's beautiful, man.
Yo, I feel like it would make One Piece so much harder because then it proves Oda can have two different paths during your reason for life. You can go down a good path, live a good life, you're happy, everything works out. During the bad path, everything that's worse happens to you, you fall to it, succumb to it. But you're never too far off from just having a good moment that can change you for the better at the very end.
But I actually want to know with Kaido, again, going to what happened with him with Rocks and stuff, like, did you always want to do this? Or this solidified it? Like, you have this thought in the beginning, like forcing and cruel violence. Were you changing and Rocks changed you? Then you get betrayed by Rocks. No, I'm going back to my original thought. Was that his thought process changing over time? Or this is the idea the whole time? I always wanted to, like, because they go back and forth with the Rocks pirates, saying that Rocks is telling people, if you don't want to stay, you could go. This is our final score. But, like, at the end, most of it was the conquerors, how they viewed Rocks. Well, Shinki, Kyo, and them, they were pretty ready to leave. While you have Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, really stay with Rocks at the end. And it shows like the high caliber of Rocks too, because the ones who didn't want to stay were not conquerors, but the ones who showed that they were willing to stay with Rocks were the conquerors. The fact that that's happened and people betray you, well, that's what Kaido said later on. He's probably thinking of Captain Rocks this whole time. We don't know if Kaido ever betrayed anybody besides Orochi, but to me, he was just using Orochi all these years. He never viewed him as one of his. Kaido views one of his. Jack, King, and I guess Queen. He views them like, nah, those are my people I chose and picked. So clearly he's not down to betray people that he doesn't even view as, you're not even one of my boys. You're not one of my handpicked. You're just some guy that I used. If he had that mindset, some of Rocks did rub up on him to a degree on that aspect. Because like Rocks and Kaido's relationship to me wasn't a Orochi and Kaido relationship. It was more of someone who Kaido respected. And I don't know how Rocks viewed Kaido, but he clearly showed like he had some, like this little bat got on his nerves a couple of times, but he still showed he liked Kaido to a degree, obviously. There is some type of partnership or friendship was there. It shows like how Kaido got upset when he felt he got betrayed by Rock. Just how Big Mom and everybody else did. And I do agree, like, yo, I feel like then this happened, you guys never went to go figure out what happened. Like, that's when I have the problem. Y'all never try to go after Rocks again to see, yo, what was up, what happened? You just took it as, oh, he betrayed us, and that's it. How long you guys been sailing and how you viewed Rocks at the end? Just the one time that was it? That's like, all right, he betrayed us, we're out. That bothers me personally. I feel like there should have been more. Like, because I feel like if the Straw Hats, that's not going to happen. That they're going to go out and find, yo, what's going on? Like, we're robbing, bro. This happened. They want to figure out what happened.
I love the Gloriosa interaction. She's so chill. Now that Shaki saved, she's like, yo, let me tag along. Because, like, I know my man about to be on that ship later or whatever. And Larry bringing it up like, yo, Roger about to be bad as hell. I'm putting my all into this. I'm fighting to the death. I come back and on my ship is this chick that annoys the hell out of me. I'd be mad as hell. Larry highlighted the conversation between Kaido and Big Mom. Yo, I wholeheartedly agree, bro. I do. It felt so contrived. Because even if you go back to their original conversation, which is why I kept going back to this page, but Big Mom's original conversation about this was, on the day the Rocks Pirates fell into ruin at God Valley, I gave you the mythical Zoan fruit. It's like, yo, no, you didn't. Like, no, you didn't. You didn't give me crap. In my head, I'm like, did Oda forget that he wrote that? Or is this Big Mom just trying to manipulate the situation? It's very possible it's her trying to manipulate it. But I'm like, kind of like, yeah, whatever. Because in his mind, he's like, I know what went down. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I hooked off on you. You was about to get at somebody else. I had to sneak you to steal the fruit in the first place. And then, like, I was a little upset. Like, obviously, I've always been the Rocks were a more opportunistic crew. They didn't have this deep connection with Rocks. But when they have them all lined up together, I know they were there for different reasons. Kaido was there to test his fruit, and Big Mom was there to get back at Kaido, whatever. But I felt something when they were getting attacked by Rocks. They seemed to have a deeper, like, damn, what's going on? They felt a way. Like, not just like, oh crap, Rocks is tripping. It felt deeper than that in that moment to me, where I was like, okay, maybe there's more there than even I've given credit for over the past several chapters here. And then we cut to this, and I'm back to where I was. Where it's like, nah. They was just here for an opportunity. Rocks was the head. Maybe Whitebeard felt a little bit more because he's there stoically thinking, yeah, what went down just now? But they're just back in their own little bag of arguing. Like, they didn't just swing on dude and all this. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, how big is this island? Where are Rocks and Roger and Garp fighting that he just put them out, like, right here, and they're not even interacting with that no more? Like, it's just over there. Don't even care. I see hockey blasts and all this. Don't care. Only Whitebeard seems to even be interested in what's happening over there. And I was like, all that just so we could, like, get this backstory for Kaido and Big Mom. And I was like, yo, there was a more interesting story to tell with the deeper connection. So I was like, shout out to Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom. They didn't seem too affected from being attacked by Rocks physically. I've already explained how I was disappointed in them and their emotional attachment to what happened to them there. At least as a development, it just tracks with what I thought before. But Whitebeard good though. I was like, man, like a lot of people say Whitebeard got one shot, he got put out. I'm like, Whitebeard chilling, man.
I keep saying every game, one shot.
Whitebeard good, bro. It doesn't seem like the Garling thing's happening.
I don't get why everybody and their mom continuously keeps saying that he gets it here. Only does it not make sense. It's not physically possible because we've seen him on Wano. He doesn't have the scar on Wano, so he doesn't get scarred here. It'd be a hard-ass retcon.
This is me acknowledging fault.
I don't even want to say you're at fault. I think you're having a mental lapse. Like, if we tell you it doesn't happen here, it has to happen later. We showed you proof.
Like, multiple times.
It's like, yo, this dude drank Kool-Aid. And then you're like, nah, yo, he might have drank grape soda. It's like, no, but we saw him drinking Kool-Aid. And you're like, nah, grape soda's still possible.
When Garling takes out Polo, it's going to be up.
Even then, that's not true. Because then he has Marco. Marco on his ship on Wano. You just
still take him out later.
You're just saying anything.
And still take him out later.
And look what you did to the One Piece community. Look what you did to the fans out here thinking Garland really scarred Whitebeard at this point.
He's still
going God Valley. You laid him people on straight.
This is 38. When he gets Marco and he's on Wano, that's 30. That's 8 years past.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. This is what abusing power looks like.
Abusing power?
Yeah, bro. When you got a little influence and people like you because you just sound good and you tell them something and it's not true.
Hey, man. Hey, man. It's all still possible.
You do good, bro.
It's all still possible.